Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or, as my mom would say, morning glory. Just like that. That was her voice. Morning glory. That's what she would say. She still says that. She's still here. Thank heavens. She sent me these books. These are Foxfire books. This is an old Appalachian trade secret that's been passed down for generations and generations. I'm pretty sure that these were her mom's books, at least the first one was. There's lots of secrets in these, and I'm pretty honored to have gotten them. A lot about what my mom and I talk about is plants, and it's something that we are able to agree on and have fun with, and I appreciate that. Today I'm talking about this particular bee balm plant. Bee balm is something that bees really like, obviously, or they wouldn't have named it bee balm, I suppose. It is planted in between this big bush, which I don't know what it is, and this bush, which I don't know what it is. And it's not getting very much sunlight, and so it's displeased. And so I wanted to talk to you about how I'm going to get this out of the ground so that I can get it moved to a sunnier location. I planted this here about 5 years ago, and I didn't realize that the bushes that were near it were going to get so big. I also didn't know as much about plants as I do now, and so now that I know this, I need to get that corrected. So what I've been doing is uncovering the root system. Each plant has a different root system. The internet's awesome because you can look up and see so that you don't accidentally cut a root system off that may be vital for the plant survival. Bee balm's kind of hard to find. You don't really see it at, typical box garden stores. You kind of have to go to a fancier greenhouse. This little bud I accidentally tore up while I was moving that mulch. So I'm going to go ahead and stick him in my savior bucket. That's the bucket in which I will put this once I get this dug up. So I've been moving mulch over. I looked up the root system. It seems like it's a crawler, so it typically crawls away from where it is, and you can kind of feel. So this is like where you get into your paleontology type vibes. It feels like there is a root ball here of some sort, and I can see that this has crawled away and grabbed onto some ground. So I'm going to kind of try to dig in there a little bit, and then eventually I'll get my shovel in here and try to get that up. I don't think this root system goes very deep. I think it's more of a surface thing, but I do know that it needs to be moved. It doesn't flower as much when it's in the shade, and so that kind of defeats the purpose of having it. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my shovel in here and see if I can get the majority of that. So I try to go deep, because I can always put the dirt back, right? So I go deep to see if I can lift that at all, and you can kind of see where that earth is moving. It might go deeper than I think. You never know. Okay, so here we go. There's some. So I'll go this direction now because I want to go around. Plant roots are interesting because sometimes they'll be like one tube, like a ginger root or like an onion. I know that you've seen chives. Chives are one of those things that just kind of, their root system sticks really close to their body. This is not one of those plants. I don't really know what it does, so we're going to get in here and find out. Ooh, that one popped out. So sometimes when you're digging these up, you'll leave leftovers, and then you'll see part of it like the next year. This being here for 5 years, it should have woken up yet. It should have responded. It takes about 3 years for a plant to like really acclimate to its new home. So it should have already perked up if it liked it here, and it just doesn't. It should be 3 or 4 feet tall. So I'm running a risk on, not a risk, but I'm digging it up before it blooms this year just because I want to get it moved. I'm ready to see what this thing can do. So let's see. I'm feeling some tension here. I don't know if that's coming from one of the other plants or not. I don't think that root system goes that deep, but you never know. Because it could be part of this guy. This guy goes deep. So it seems like I've got some stuff loose. Once I get this loosened, I will then, you could probably keep it in a bucket with some water on it, like spritz it with water pretty liberally for about 3 days. After that, you definitely wanted to get it in the ground into a new home. This one seems to be coming free. I'm tearing a little bit, but that's okay. You can kind of feel it. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, cool. So we got to get this guy done. Full sun plants means exactly that. It wants to be in a place where there's a lot of sun. I hope I'm not giving you guys motion sicknesses with all this camera movement. It was a risk, but everything is. We will improvise and overcome, as they say. So there we've got some bee balm. Look at that. There's a root system. So we can see it doesn't go very deep. And here's the other root system. So neither one of those go very deep. Did I get it all? Holy smokes, I got it all. Great. Cool. So I'm not going to put this in full sun now that I've got it dug up. It needs to be monitored like a little baby. So I'm going to keep it in the shade. I'm going to put some water on it so that the bottom of the bucket is kind of saturated with water. I'm going to get that little bud out of there just in case I can save him, that first one that we looked at. And then when I'm ready to get it in the ground, I got to find a spot in my yard that has full sun where it will be happy, so that I can get some bees coming over to it, because I've been trying to grow a pollinator place where bees can have a good time, like a little playground for bees. So now that this is out of here, I'll just smash that back down. That might be part of the root system, so I'm just going to take that just in case. You never know. Plants are really weird. Like sometimes they'll die for like a year, and then they'll come back and you'll be like, yo, what's up? And they'll be like, hey, I want to live here. I was just kidding. I was just mad at you for a minute. And then they're all back. So there's that. I want to show you about daffodils too really quick, because I've had some friends had some questions about that. So one of these Foxfire books told me about tying daffodil leaves. Daffodils are those first things that come up in the summer, and they're pretty cool because they look like little cups with collars on. They grow into these big long blades of grass, and so I had some friends over in my yard, and they said, why do you tie your things like that? And my mom and the Foxfire books, I can't remember which one, said that if you tie these in knots, it helps the bulb. It's just like a little onion bulb. It helps it go through the full cycle. So in the winter, when it's pretty starved for nutrients, it starts to drink all the stuff that's in here. So some people cut these off, but then it doesn't have any food throughout the winter. So I just take them and I twist them, and then I tie them in a knot. And then that way, as my other flowers get bigger, they just grow right over it. And you just tie it in a knot like you would tie a shoelace. So when I plant a plant, I can't tie it with one hand. I'm not that magical. When I plant a plant, this is not full sun, but I would dig a hole. So we saw how big that root was. I would dig a hole, probably at least 1/2 to 1 hole size bigger than that. You don't have to stick a lot of roots very deep. I could probably dig a hole with my hands right here and put it in there. So I want to get like some actual compost-ish dirt. The dirt in my yard is red clay, probably yours too. And so I can dig that hole, put in some moist dinosaur type dirt, stuff with lots of, vitamins and stuff. And then I mix it together, and then I get some water in there too so that they can really saturate. And then I'll be able to plant my plant in it, because if I just take it and move it to another spot that's just got red clay, it's not gonna be very happy, because it's hard to grow in red clay. Clay is exactly that. It's better to make pots with than to grow plants. So that compost-ish dirt, the dirt that's got lots of dinosaurs and stuff in it, that's the stuff that'll really help your stuff grow. Once I get that in there, then I'll make sure that I water it. Not during the hottest part of the day, so the morning and the evening. And that way it doesn't get sunburnt, because those glistening, it's just like putting baby oil in your skin. It'll get you really burnt. So it'll also burn your plant. So we'll see how my bee balm goes after I get it transplanted. And I just want to talk a little bit about how angry this stuff makes me. This is crabgrass, and it is not my friend. It's built for survival. It's really crazy. Any plant that grows that gnarly and just is typically not good. So if I let that go, it would take over all these other plants and it would choke them out. It wouldn't give them enough space to eat those nutrients. So if you would have asked me when I was a kid if I liked yard work, I would have laughed so hard because I'm a redhead. I get sunburnt really easily. Yard work is not something that I thought I would ever enjoy, but as I've gotten older, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at how much fun I find in it. So watching plants grow and things like that, it's kind of like what I said about drawing plants for your parents, is that they just grow and they change, and it's really strange. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day today. Thanks for tuning in to Make the Most. I did not introduce myself because I was so focused on the bee balm, but I'm Mary Bruce, and this has been your Make the Most post for Monday. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Have a good day.